But this place at night, you've got devices at the back of your head, spitting on you, pissing on you, calling you a tramp or whatever. At this time of year, there's been ice actually forming on top of the sleeping bag.
When he passed away, he left me £2.7 million.
Wow, that's a lot to then end up on the streets. How did you stop them from stealing it?
Well, I carried a knife in my back and I was going to bug them.
At 50 years of age, no accommodation put up for me. The Housing Association made me homeless.
You can see that I'm getting battered by the wind and the rain. Today I'm in Scotland. You can see the trees getting flung around by the wind. I'm worried that the phone is going to get blown out of my hand. And I want to understand what it's like for people that have to sleep in these conditions, because it must be incredibly difficult.
Talk me through what life is like on the streets at the moment.
Hellish.
Gary hasn't had somewhere to call home for more than 30 years. This winter, he says, is worse than ever.
It's just a nightmare. It's just, you just want to get up. I feel left behind. My situation's bad and there's no facilities out there now for people.
Around 250 homeless people died here in Scotland last year, a deteriorating trend which is causing grave concern for what lies ahead.
Behind every number, there's someone living in temporary accommodation.
You've got no water? No, I haven't had that water since I've been here.
Figures today revealed the number of homeless people like Kevin living in temporary accommodation has increased, standing at just over 16,000 households in the past year. That's 9% higher than the previous one and the highest on record. 10,000 children were in that situation, highest since records began.
So you're just out of jail on Thursday, there you go, say locked up, down to court and out of court, and then straight into these streets of Glasgow. Yous great souls were telling us about John that had a bit of a sore face. John's going to touch on a wee bit how he came to getting his face all marked up and that.
I relapsed big styly, and I can only be honest as I'm always up. The main one in the eyeball in that was I get smashed about down at St Enoch's, and I couldn't tell you who, what, where, when, know what I mean, Francis? Yeah. So the way I seen it, I was like, karma. But I shouldn't be thinking like that either. I should be going, no, I don't deserve this shit, man.
Until you've lived under that bridge and like you're freezing cold, people don't understand.
Things happen in life and puts you places sometimes you don't want to be.
And so many, homeless and hungry, come here for support and shelter. Inside they're served donated food, enough to feed the 300 people expected through the doors.
People need help. Genuine people like myself. If you haven't been there, you don't understand. I lost everything, and from having my own house, cars, children, family, everything, to sleeping at the side of a river. I was at the end.
We're in Glasgow. It looks as though it's just started hailing. I don't know, does that happen a lot?
Sometimes, yeah.
It's extremely wet and rainy. I don't know, I guess Scotland does have a reputation for kind of being quite wet and cold. Like, is it this level of wet and cold a lot? What's it like?
I've slept in worse, I've slept in the snow and...
You slept in the snow?
I've been inside my sleeping bag throughout the night and I woke up in the morning, and at this time of year there's been ice actually forming on top of the sleeping bag on the outside.
Ice forming on your sleeping bag when you're there? Wow. I'm going to clean up the lens a bit. When you wake up and there's ice forming on your sleeping bag...
Makes you think that you were there any longer, you didn't wake up when you did, I could have froze to death, not me.
Yeah, it does happen to people, right?
It's below zero, severe weather, extreme,
severe weather.
toxicological.
So this is a severe weather night. Jesus.
Yeah, so this morning it was -3.
-3.
You're warm now.
Yeah.
But during the night,
it's gonna get, even with a sleeping bag.
I've seen some lads and they're dead the next morning.
They're dead?
Yeah.
Jesus. Just from the cold? Like, yeah, like I've heard of people going to sleep and then just, because of the cold and then
I've read in the newspapers, people were waking up in the morning, dying of hypothermia and shit, so.
How do you keep yourself warm to stop that from happening? Is there a way of doing it?
Try and find somewhere that's sheltered for a start.
Try and find somewhere sheltered.
Make sure you've got a comforter or sleeping bag of some sort. Even a
sleeping
nice
bag.
big thick jacket, take it off, put it over the top of you, it should keep you warm throughout the night.
Are your clothes, they are waterproof as well, I'm hoping? Your jacket? It's not waterproof?
No. I wish
No.
it was.
Mate, I'm sorry.
It happens.
So you said you were from Glasgow. What was your name?
Jamie.
I'm Andy. How did you end up on the streets?
Family difficulties, mate.
Okay, kind of like disagreement with family,
Aye.
and then that ended up with you on the streets. Does the council help people get off the street? Really?
Depends on your circumstances and your situation.
How long have you been on the streets yourself?
A long time. I couldn't tell you how long.
It's been that long. Have you tried to get the council to help, or you have?
I'm on a list, and I'm still on that list.
So you've been on the list for longer than you can remember.
Aye.
That's not good. Do they give the impression that they're trying to help? Like, do you feel like they're nice people that are? No.
1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
A lot of work, charity.
You do work for charity? That's good. What charity?
Help the homeless. There's the puppy.
Yeah.
There's my hand. There's my hand.
Okay. And are you homeless as well, or?
I am.
Yeah. How long?
I choose to.
How long? Oh, you choose to. What made you choose to be homeless?
His ex-wife.
Mm.
When I was working away Afghanistan, and when I was working away, she was pulling away.
Oh, so you were working away and then she cheated on you?
Yeah.
And so why did that make you want to be on the streets?
So my grandfather, God bless his soul,
Yeah.
he was a bookmaker, so he made a lot of money.
Yeah.
But he's always winning. And when he passed away, he left me £2.7 million.
Wow. Your grandfather left your family 3.7 million.
No, to me.
He left you 3.7 million.
2.7.
2.7. Wow, that's a lot to then end up on the streets.
And my children, all the family.
So what happened?
So I went straight to my solicitor.
Yeah.
I gave the 2.7 to my children. So when they're 18, they're happy.
Is that you gave all of it to?
Also my children.
All of it. So you inherited 2.7 million,
Yep.
and you've given it all to your children.
Yep. And plus, they had an inheritance from my grandfather as well.
They're going to be in a very good situation.
Good situation, bad situation. I'll tell you a story now. In the 60s, when Gandhi came out of the Navy, Francisco were the bookmakers. And I was employed by Ladbrokes, Dons, you know, all the bookies.
Yeah. Oh, so it was more gambling. Oh, grab it. There you go. Cheers. No problem.
Gandhi was a gambler, but bookies always win.
He owned his own bookies.
The only gamble I take is waking up in the morning.
What was your name again, my friend?
James.
How long have you been on the streets?
Since the 7th of June.
Since the 7th of June?
Yes, I did it at prison, and council made me homeless because obviously when you go into the prison, your benefits stop. So they built up rent arrears. Glasgow City Council and Housing Association have made myself homeless.
So you were in prison,
Yes.
and so therefore you couldn't pay your rent when you were in prison,
Yes.
and they
They didn't get me any accommodation for getting out whatsoever. They've made me homeless because and packed all my stuff, all my furniture and everything because I owe them £2,500 in rent arrears. But no housing association's going to take me on until I've got my rent arrears down. I've no option apart from sleeping in the streets, I'm jumping from shelter to shelter. But if you start doing that, the Department of Work and Pensions, they take so much money off your benefit because you're staying between friends. It's called sofa surfing. Like I can stay with you one night or 2 nights, then I can go stay with my pal 2 or 3 nights. Because if I said I was staying with you for a week, they would obviously take extra rent money off of you. But as I said, it's ridiculous in this day and age why people like myself at 50 years of age having to sleep in the streets, no accommodation put up for me. I never made myself homeless. The Housing Association made me homeless.
And what's Glasgow like in particular? Crap. Shithole. Okay.
I know it sounds sad to say when you're from somewhere like here and you say you don't like the place where you've been brought up. I don't like this country at all, man. I just don't like Glasgow altogether. If I had the money, I'd just get up and leave.
Okay.
I'd go somewhere else.
And what makes you feel like it's shit?
It's just the way Glasgow is and the laws and stuff and
the laws?
It's just it laws, it shouldn't be laws, pathetic laws, you know what I mean? You shouldn't even have brought it in the first place.
Is it laws that are anti people that are homeless? Is it?
Not just people that are homeless, it's everybody. People are too quick to discriminate, you know what I mean?
Okay, no, that's not good. Is there anything that you need?
Yeah, £10 a night.
To get into like a hostel or something, gets you out of this cold, this rain.
Gets me a bed, gets me a shower, gets me something to eat.
Yeah.
Can wash my clothes. So.
Have people given you much money today? Or? No. How much have you had?
I've been out since 8 o'clock this morning and I've not had a penny drop yet.
You've not had a single penny, and just £10 would be able to get you off.
Aye.
And yet you've not had a penny though.
Plus I've got to get money for food and that as well.
Yeah. Let me see whether I can get some cash. Do you know
There's
where
just a cash line just at Tesco.
Tesco? Alright, nice.
So you get dead stuff, man, because you've been sitting for so long.
Yeah.
Without movement in your legs.
Yeah. Can be quite hard.
It takes its toll and you start to feel it.
Yeah.
Your body starts aching, the pains.
Down. Oh, the winter.
After a while, no? Your bones start to get, your muscles get all stiff. It's pretty shit, mate. It's not.
It is.
I wouldn't wish it even though my worst enemy. Maybe back in the day you would see people on the streets. Not this day and age, I just think it's absolutely madness. If they could have prevented it, mate, some of the boys that are still here 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That have been on the streets for years.
Yeah.
Are still here and they're a totally different person from what they used to be. But drugs is all gone.
Okay. Is there a lot of drugs on the streets?
Dodgy stuff, man. I'd advise people to stay away from it. You don't know what you're taking nowadays.
They can be really dangerous.
I've lost a couple of friends through drugs and it's not nice to see how quickly they go downhill.
How quickly people go down, so they take something and then the next minute they could be... Wow.
So according to an article, Scotland's drug deaths are actually the worst in Europe after there was a 12% rise in deaths. Data for 2023 showed that 1,172 people died in Scotland. The Scottish government has actually even replied about the drug misuse deaths, saying that they were hugely concerning.
So is this the Tesco's?
Okay.
Yeah, awesome. You're saying that Christmas Day in particular is a day that you don't like?
Nah, it's my wee boy's birthday on Christmas Day, so...
Oh no. Does your boy know that you're on the streets?
Aye.
He does? Okay. I mean, I'm glad that he knows kind of roughly where you are. That's good. So I'm guessing hopefully you're hoping to one day see him again and maybe be off the streets.
Fingers crossed.
Alright, let me get you this cash out. There you go, my friend. Mate, all the best, man. I hope everything works out and that Christmas isn't too bad. And yeah, so thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it, man. That's good. Thank you, Jamie. All the best, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I've got a lawyer that fights for the homeless people. They take in the night shelter at night, so they take in 20 male 20 female. They open up at 7:30 to 9:30. And you can get baguette, cheese, ham, whatever you want. You get your donuts and you can get your soup. And then once that shuts at 9:30, they clean up. And after that, it's called the night shelter, which is for people that are on the streets like myself until 9 o'clock the following morning. Then you've got to be up and out. They've got a lawyer who fights for the homeless. He doesn't deal with criminal cases or anything. It's all homeless.
Just fights for the homeless. That's really good.
So they're in a Monday and a Wednesday, and they can get you emergency accommodation. So if I went round to them tonight and said, listen, I need an emergency accommodation, they would just phone round about all the charities or all the hostels and try and get me accommodation for tonight. Everybody can pay £16 for a bed and breakfast. The loyal people in Glasgow donate or give you a couple of pence. That helps towards you getting accommodation for a hostel or a bed and breakfast at night. People that have got kindness that put money into my cup, as you can see, that goes towards me getting something to eat for tonight. And obviously accommodation. You know what I mean? So if it wasn't for all these generous folks, it would be a lot harder. I would probably end up just getting in there and stealing and get back to prison.
Because you'd have no choice.
And at least when you're in prison, you've got a bed, you've got a roof over your head, and you get 3 meals a day. And that's what most people in Glasgow do, to be quite honest.
You feel like the people of Glasgow are very kind?
Yes. Yes, if it wasn't for them, it could be a different situation. People would have no choice apart from to go to prison. And that's what most people do, they know, is they would rather just go to prison because, one, they've got a bed, at least they're getting 3 meals a day, and they've got a roof over their head. So it's basically keeping people alive. As we call it, it's like a rehab. I've got a bed, and I get 3 meals, 7 days a week.
So your name is Derek. And the first thing I noticed about you, Derek, is you were reading a book. And do you mind saying what the book was?
Glasgow Kiss.
The Glasgow Kiss. And I think you're enjoying the book so far.
Yeah.
Okay, like what's it about?
It's about a serial killer. Merry Christmas.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, pal.
Thank you, man. I like this foil. So you've got some like a warm thing. Does it keep you warm?
My sleeping bag dry.
Oh, smart. So it keeps the sleeping bag dry, and also I bet it's warm as well.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
So have you been on the streets long, Derek?
About 5 months.
How is it up here?
Alright.
It's alright? Good.
You don't go hungry in Glasgow.
You don't go hungry because the people look after you?
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good. And Derek, one thing I would say is you're probably one of the happiest, most positive people I've met on the streets. How do you stay so happy and positive?
That's my nature.
It's your nature. It's who you are.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like that up there.
Oh, that up there. What are we looking at? Are you talking about this sign?
I'm always think bright.
Always think
That's
bright.
Me.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna let it get me down. I've been in worse situations.
What's worse than the streets?
In prison. I've been backpacking when I was young, so I'm kinda used to it.
Is there any harder bits to the streets, or is it mostly okay?
Well, it's Glasgow at the end of the day. You get junkies up trying to rob you. It's Glasgow.
You think there's a lot of drugs in Glasgow?
Why? You get drug addicts up. You need to keep putting in your pocket. If you've got more than a tenner.
Huh?
If you've got more than a tenner.
Oh, people might steal it for you for their drugs. Has that ever happened to you?
No.
Oh.
They've tried. I was nearly fighting them the other day about it.
How did you stop them from stealing it?
Well, I carried on had a knife in my back and I was going to bug them.
So is that you have a knife in your bag?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? And you used the knife to protect yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, did you have to get it? Did you have to get it out?
Yeah.
You did,
Yeah.
and that's how you kind of kept them away.
Yeah.
Oh, was that scary?
And well, aye, a bit, I suppose.
I guess you're kind of used to that lifestyle. And what would you say is the toughest thing about being on the streets?
It's okay during the day, but at night there's a lot of anger and temper with all the young people spitting on you, pissing on you, calling you a tramp or whatever. All that, I know what's happening in Glasgow City Centre, just along towards where you might be going yourself. It's white people are fighting with black people are fighting with white people. So in here at night, it's ridiculous, and it's all the young people.
And then do you sometimes feel like you get caught in the middle of the
Yes,
the
if I'm sitting
fighting?
here, people can start fighting there, and then before you know it, they're attacking you because they think you're involved in it because they're standing where you're sitting. This place is notorious, and if you ask anybody in Glasgow City Centre and they mention the Four Corners, which is along there, the police are there basically 24/7 because that's where all the trouble happens.
So what he's talking about is a place in Glasgow called the Four Corners. And interestingly, just days after this video was recorded, on the 8th of January, there's a news report that the Four Corners was taped off in police incident after reports of disturbance, and that there was a possible serious assault during the early hours, which shows potentially how frequent these violent encounters are happening in Glasgow in these places.
And in Glasgow at night, as I said, I come in here at 10 in the morning and I leave at 4 o'clock. At night time, I couldn't sit in this street at night time because people or whatever area, whether it be beer, ginger, whatever, and it's just ridiculous what happens in here at night.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for like the police and with the CCTV, it'd be a totally different scenario in this city centre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
And it's no nice.
Yeah.
It's okay during the day, but this place at night, you've got to advise at the back of your head.
You have eyes on the back of your head,
Yes, 24/7 because it's notorious. They're either full of drink or they're full of drugs. They're looking to get money any way and every way that they possibly can, whether that be robbing you, shoplifting, they're attacking you, whether it be a bottle, knife, whatever. Before you know it, you're going to the hospital and getting stitched up. It's just ridiculous, this place at night, and I wouldn't sit in here at night at all, and I don't.
Has any violence happened to you when you've been on the streets?
Aye.
Yeah.
No violence, but people just calling you tramp, you fucking black bastard. I've seen people sleeping in tents, guys get up slashing the people's tents and urinating through their tents, know that.
There's just so many people on the streets up here. Smaller towns in the UK, you know, there's not that many people on the streets, but you come to a bigger city or a place like Glasgow, and especially if you get near the centre, there's so many people on the streets. So it makes me think that I'm not sure what it is, whether it's that the housing is not very affordable or if the council's not housing many people, but it's sad to see.
Frightening. Last week when the Celtic Rangers came in the zone, there was fights for that end of Gale Street right up until here. Everybody, all the shoppers had to hide in shops with Celtic Rangers supporters fighting, bottles everywhere, everything. And I feel for a lot of people, especially females. Thank you, sir. The females do get a lot of trouble as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is not very nice.
So do you think that they get pressured or
They get pressured. Most people think because they're sitting on the streets like myself, they think they're prostitutes, and 9 out of 10 they'll ask them for business.
So they're going up to women and asking them to have sex with them, but actually they're just homeless. They're not actually there for that reason.
No, they're not there for prostitution or anything like that. They're there for it because they're actually homeless.
Yeah.
But people would take advantage of that situation. It's disgusting.
These are some horrible statistics, but 1 in 20 people sleeping rough will face sexual abuse and violence. And according to the Connection at St Martin's, 13% of homeless women reported being raped in the past 12 months.
It's disgusting. There's no need for it in this day and age. If it wasn't like for people like yourself and other genuine Glaswegians, this place would be a war zone. Even a lot is a war zone at night, but during the day it's a lot safer than what it is at night. But there's still things happening round about you.
Yeah.
You don't see as much. But at night time, it's a totally different scenario. I don't like it, so I don't sit here because I know people that's either been slashed, stabbed, robbed.
Take me back to Afghanistan, I will show you the man.
So you used to serve, did you?
Aye.
Okay.
Popular.
So you're a veteran that's on the streets?
This guy. I said 19 years.
You served for 19 years?
Yes.
That's a long time, man.
19 years in there, and nearly 10 years on the street.
Okay.
I don't know.
Is there any violence on the streets?
Violence all day long. You know what, mate?
Wherever. Yeah.
That's it.
That's a fair point. There's always violence.
There is. So,
Glasgow's quite tame in comparison. Oh, that's good. That's good. And how are the people? Are the people kind up here?
if you're polite, they're polite.
This day and age, nobody should be sitting on the streets.
No.
That's Glasgow City Council for you.
Council's not doing a good enough job.
I can tell you umpteen streets in Glasgow, they're all lying empty, all boarded up, and they'll not even renovate them and put accommodation into it for people that are on the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're all lying there rotting. It's a disgrace. Disgrace. And Glasgow City Council should be ashamed of themselves. And that's not coming just from myself. That's coming from older generations, and there's a lot of things that they could do, like the homeless project. They don't get a penny off the council for what they do, and Greg's and Pret a Manger, all the restaurants, all donate all their stuff at the end of the night to them. He doesn't even get a penny off the Glasgow City Council to do that.
Yeah.
So he's doing all that off his own back.
Yeah, so there's some really kind businesses and people, but the council's not helping.
Homeless project is a brilliant organisation. Every year they rent out a place and they put on your breakfast. Thanks, darling. Your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And they take up to 100 to 150 homeless people.
If you would like to donate to them, I'll put their link in the description.
And that's coming out of that guy's own pocket. Glasgow City Council haven't given him a penny to walk it, which is ridiculous. If it wasn't for him, I'd be in there robbing and stealing.
Yeah.
It's a bad day when you're in the year 2024 and you're relying on charities to keep you alive at the street.
I'll be honest, like, how cold this is, like, I feel freezing cold also just being with you, so I can't imagine how cold it must be for yourself. Like, you almost sometimes feel like it would be better in prison than on the street.
Yes. I've been in prison basically most of my life, you know what I mean, but because the older you get sick of it, you know what I mean, but sometimes I'm sitting here and
I guess the lack of freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm sitting here and I go, you know what, I'd rather just go back to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is a sad situation to say.
Sad,
But that's just being honest. And if you ask 9 out of 10, most people in here will come in and tell you the exact same thing.
It's hard to express kind of how cold I feel just from basically standing still to interview people. So I'm gonna get like a coffee just to warm up. But just to think how bad it must be for people that have to sit here all day, all night. Nothing to keep them warm. Horrible. Do you have any tips for anyone that's on the streets?
Oh, just make sure you got a sleeping bag in that.
Make sure you get a sleeping bag. I mean, this is a good tip, right? Using this, get some of this foil to keep yourself dry.
Get gloves on and scarf. Just make sure you're warm, man.
Keep yourself warm.
Aye.
What kind of places do you sleep?
I don't know what it is, but I sleep up there.
Okay.
And there's another guy who sleeps here, but I've never met him.
Oh, you sleep with another person, but you don't know him.
I've never met him.
You've never spoken to him, but you sleep near him. Is there anything that I can get you, James?
No, I'm actually fine.
You sure you don't need anything, whether it's food or sleeping bag or like tent, whatever it is? You got all that? You got your umbrella?
So I'm actually alright. Just the rain.
Yeah, the rain is horrible.
Aye.
Are you okay in this position? I was just wondering because like sometimes you don't have a lot of shelter.
No.
But
I'm alright.
you're okay. Well, James, it's an absolute pleasure, man, and thank you so much for your time.
Thanks very much, James.
Thank you very much, James.
No bother, pal.
Give you this anyway, my friend. All the
Thanks
best.
very much.
All the
Thanks
best,
very much,
James.
Andy.
See you soon, man.
See you later, pal.
What do you find is the hardest thing about the streets?
The thing about the streets, me back.
Your back hurts from lying on the pavement, maybe.
Nah. I'm sat on my bag, and it's zero, you know, sub-zero.
The temperature.
So once you're in bloody an aura, it's temperature. Whew.
Good or bad?
Good.
Okay, so you got a
Very
really
good.
good sleeping bag.
Oh,
That's good. I think you need it up here because it is cold. Is there a good community, homeless community up here? Because it's nice that you guys sit together. Ah, okay.
Sit together, sleep together, eat together, and shit together.
Oh, you do everything together. Sometimes you need to for
This is my
safety.
good friend. This is my good friend. I've got him in travels I told the country.
You've travelled the country. You've been.
Do the spray work.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. My love Banksy,
All the best, man. What was your name again?
the homeless artist.
The homeless artist.
And we don't do that pump shit. We do the handshake.
Handshake. Okay, sorry. You have a very firm handshake, my friend. Are you hoping to get off the street, or are you okay?
I could be in a hostel, but I don't like getting in hostels.
Why don't you like the hostels?
Because it's full of junkies and assholes.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Is that sometimes the hostels are not perfect. Do the
You
council?
always look at your eye home.
Yeah.
So I'd rather know.
Do the council help much? Will they get you a place?
Well, there's not enough places. This is a
There's not enough housing in Glasgow.
No.
Oh.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Have a nice Christmas.
I tell you what, I love the kindness of people of Glasgow. Like I've spoken to a few people on the streets, and there's been a lot of people giving and helping each other out.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah. People make Glasgow. The people make Glasgow.
Yeah. Is there anything I can get you? Do you need like a new sleeping bag or anything like that?
I'd love a new sleeping bag.
Do you need it? Why will it help?
Put it in that and I'd have two and it'd be warmer.
And then you'd have two of them, so you'd be even more warm.
Yeah.
Okay, mate. If it's gonna help you, no problem at all, mate. Is there like an Argos nearby or something?
I don't know. There's a place in there that does them.
Do you know what it's called?
No, I don't know.
No. Okay.
I just know I've seen them.
Okay, I'll have a look. Are you gonna be here for a while?
I'm afraid I'll be all day.
All the best, Derek. So Derek's saying that a sleeping bag would help keep him warmer. The challenge is there's no Argos, which is my go-to place to buy a sleeping bag. I'm looking around, but yeah, so far I'm struggling to find. I was hearing a lot of shouting, I was wondering what it was. I found it. It's a massive march.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Occupation no more. 5, 6, 7, 8. Israel is a terror state. Palestine won't be free.
So these large Free Palestine marches are very frequent in the UK at the moment. When I was in Manchester, similarly happened to see another massive march. Derek, I love how much you love reading that book, and here you go, my friend. Mate, absolute pleasure, and it's great to meet you, man. And have a great weekend, and Merry Christmas to yourself as well, buddy. All right, see you soon, Derek. Cheers, buddy.
But Glasgow isn't the only place with a drastic homeless crisis. When I was in Bradford, I met a lady that was living in a bin shed. I met a man that had given up. I met people living in horrible conditions, and you can see the documentary here.